So he dropped a good post about mindful parenting and just gave 6 mindful fathering tips. And so his 6 tips are: one was curiosity, and I just want to talk about them as we go through them. I'm sure we'll probably all agree on them, but I don't know if it'll make you think or not. But curiosity, so bringing curiosity into our relationships with our kids, seeing them for who they are, much like Nori suggested the other last week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, non-judging, try to be open to what your children are sharing with you. Like we tend to say something's either good or bad, and when we put that judgment on our kids, it affects them, and kind of limits the perception, like there can only be these 2 ways of being good or being bad. Acceptance, keeping an open mind and supporting our kids, even as we experience challenges and struggles with the relationship. We don't always need to fix things. Letting go of expectations that might get in the way of a positive relationship with our kids. Having patience, choose to be patient with our kids instead of rushing through life and trying to get to the next spot. So again, going back to being in the moment, and then being agenda free. So again, being present with our kids without an agenda, and that we don't always need a schedule of events. Just hanging out and spending time can just be rewarding enough. So those were his 6 tips of mindful fathering, and just want to kick that around with you guys. See if are these things that we all are doing right now, or are there things that we're lacking that we read this and say, all right, maybe we should try more
I mean,
of
I'm
this.
sure lacking is probably because this is
Better-
the thing, man. That's dope, and I agree with everything that is being said there. But man, it's easy to feel like a terrible parent when you can't, when you feel like, damn, I can't do all of it. Like I'm not doing all that stuff, or I haven't done all that stuff, or I'm gonna. And then you say I'm gonna apply it, and then you mindfully forget to apply it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's like, and then it makes you feel like you're fucking your kid up, like you doing such a terrible job. So I think it's good to say that all these things should be thought about and tried to be applied, but it's okay, we're all human if we can't apply them all or consistently.
Manny, I saw you shaking your head, especially on the non-judging, the good or bad stuff. I'm assuming that's something you feel guilty about.
all the time. But what's interesting is even before I co- related it to like mindfulness, it was something that I've been working on because I'm like to the point that you just read. It's like, yo, if I tell them, yo, that's whack, or like music, right? My kids listen to completely different music than I do, and early I was like, yo, that's just garbage. Can you turn that shit off? Yo, you should listen to this. And then I'm always really trying not to be what the previous generation was to us, right? Because everybody was shitting all over hip hop and all that stuff, and I'm like, but they didn't get it. So I'm trying to, and now it's like normal for me. Like I don't criticize their music. They ask me to listen, I listen. The other thing too is like when they speak, I'm always quick to dismiss what they're saying and get a quick resolution or try to provide a quick end to that conversation because I got to go and do something else. And that's another thing that I've just stopped. Like, I don't give a fuck what it could be the goofiest thing they want to talk about. I just stop what I'm doing and I focus entirely on that goofball situation. I goof with them, let them get it out. And then I'm like, yo, you good? All right. And then I move on. But that's taken me, I have to say, since COVID is probably when I've been able to really be mindful of those things that I'm doing and try to, correct some of those mistakes.
Wow.
What about you, Il?
Man, no, listen. That I kind of agree with what he's saying. It's hard though, right? Like, it's hard to not put any like limitations or anything, or it's hard to not to compare. Like when you like my son is 16, no, 15 months, and he's not walking yet. And so when you're like, oh well, Tammy's daughter was walking at one,
All right.
and well, this kid is, or even the teeth. We were like kids who were close to his age were getting their teeth, and he, you know, wasn't getting his teeth yet. And then boom, he gets his teeth. And then boom. Some people are saying, yo, when he walks when he walks.
Yeah.
You know, when he wants to walk is when he wants to. But I feel myself going, come on, little boy, you could do this. Walk right now. You just because he's standing and he's letting go, but he doesn't want to take those steps yet. So yeah, I gotta be able to not put, you know, let him do his own thing, let him go. Pay attention. I could tell like he's not talking yet, but when he wants my attention, just like you said, Manny, I'm like, okay, what is it? What are you trying to tell me? Try to figure him out, you know, so that he could still kind of speak to me without having to, you know, cry or whine. Yeah, for sure. And then my 11-year-old right now, I've never been into video games. You know, I stopped after Super Mario Brothers. Or maybe, you know, I kind of got into the Mortal Kombats and whatever, like the arcades, but I never was like this huge gamer. And my kid that's his language. And so I had to buy the Nintendo Switch and I had to buy Splatoon so that I could play with my son. And I learned it, and I'm kind of proud of myself because it doesn't interest me. Video games don't interest me, but he loves it. So I figured, you know, instead of like, yo, play less video games, you know, how about I just get involved in something that my kid is super into and just kind of meet him there.